Hey guys, Josh here from Mixing Mango, and I'm doing some fletching at the moment, almost 92 so I can get my superior scrimshaws, but I should get that today, just fairly close now, under 300k XP. But the things I want to talk about is actually some of the stuff we've had this month. But this is mostly polls, so I'll quickly go over just the Christmassy stuff. So the Black Santa hat is in the game now. If I just like this offer in the G, it looks quite good, I would say. I haven't seen anyone with it. I know someone who has got it and sold it for like almost $1 billion, which is kind of ridiculous. But that's quite cool. It does look like a fairly cool item to get. I really hope I do get one. It's around 400 mil at the moment, so still a lot of profit to be made there. But also the Christmas event, it was just a massive grind for me. It wasn't really fun. I just did it for the reward. So Christmas event wasn't great, and it was really long as well. Like it was a grind and it was long, which just didn't help. So I do have all the rewards from it now, and I guess that's the only good thing about that. But okay, so the main thing is the two polls. So I'll start off with actually this homepage poll. This is the official poll. I did this yesterday. I'm not sure if that's when it was released, but this is your favourite feature from this year, and obviously not everything is on this, but I guess it's the main updates Jagex feel they've done. And so like before voting, when I first saw the poll, I sort of knew kind of what the results would be, but some of these things did surprise me. I voted for the World Wakes and I thought that would be top. After looking at them, there was it had to be the World Wakes. I had to vote for that. There was nothing here that really deserved to win other than that. The new interface fit system did surprise me that it's that high up. I mean, I know some people do like it, but I didn't think it'd be that high. Bonds is only high because a lot of free-to-play people are now members. That is purely the only reason, because let's be honest, it is selling gold, so a lot of players are against that. Divination as well. I mean, people have found it is fairly boring, so I'm surprised that is that high. But I guess some people do like it as well, and it is a new skill. There's more content to do. The Bird and the Beast. This is it's actually a fairly good event, I guess. So not surprised. It is up here, and it is better than the Battle of Lumbridge. They did learn a lot, so it's not surprising that it's down there. Warbands, I'm surprised they put this on there. They think that's a major update. Same with the Well of Goodwill. I'm surprised they think thinking about it, there isn't actually that much major content this year. But actually no, KK's not on this list. Cow King isn't here, and I'm fairly certain that was January of this year. So that's a bit weird. But yeah, to think that there wasn't good enough content, so they had to put Warbands and the Well of Goodwill in here. A bit worrying, I would say, but I knew Virago and Rise of the Six would get nowhere near the top, just because firstly, for anyone who doesn't like the EOC, they're going to vote against, they're not going to vote for Virago or Rise of the Six just to say, well, your EOC bosses have kind of failed. That's not surprising at all. But also, I mean, to be quite honest, I don't even deserve to really be near the top. I mean, compared to the World Wakes, that was a fantastic quest. Same with Missing Presumed Death. I'm surprised that's not on here, because that was really good as well. But Rise of the Six, really nothing new in terms of EOC mechanics. Virago, fairly unique boss, but again, it's the EOC mechanic is Provoke. That is basically it. So that's I'm not really surprised about those two. So that is the result. I voted for the World Wake. What did everyone else vote for? Just curious to know. The next thing is actually a EOC poll, and this is kind of if I scroll up. Well, actually, firstly, this is the quickfind code for this thread. If you want to I'll put this in the description. If you want to come to this page and then just put your opinions on sort of these questions, then feel free to do that. So basically, Jagex sent out an email about the evolution of combat and the current combat system, and they asked these questions, and basically you just have to put a 1 to 5 rating, 1 being bad, 5 being great, for all of these things. So not everyone received this. It seemed to be mostly high level forum people, but I do think just random people got it as well. But so people just decided to sort of put their opinions on the forums. Hopefully Jagex do take this into account, because I'm not sure why it wasn't everyone that got this poll, but hopefully this means they are trying to do something about the evolution of combat, because if you go to my answers, I personally am not a fan of the EOC. I would much prefer to go back to pre-EOC, but really I just want a rework of the evolution of combat. That would satisfy me if they can just make it so it's actually fun to play, really. So I'll take a look at some of my answers quickly. You can read through some of these if you go on the thread, but abilities, not a massive fan. Literally spamming is the best DPS, which just isn't interesting. And like, I used abilities to 99 Slayer, and not only did I probably give myself RSI, but it just wasn't fun at all. But I mean, it is like, abilities with training just isn't fun, but then it's nowhere near the best DPS. Like, I mean, momentum's not the best DPS, so there's no point not using abilities. That's the only problem. Weapon tiers, not a massive fan of the forced tier system. I do like how like specs revive some weapons, how there's like variety in training what weapons to use, and just in general, like bossing, there was some variety as well, like different weapons had different roles. Obviously, like, there was tiers, like obviously chaotics were best, but like there was arguments between if the CLS or the rapier was better, just because like I think CLS was better for Slayer, whereas I think rapier's better for Slayer because it's quicker, but a chaotic longsword's better for bosses because it hits more or something. Like, there's even variety within tiers, which was really cool to see. Armors, they basically nerfed every high level armor, and really there's less value now. Because I mean, if you look at before, I put this in example here, barrows, gloves and imbued rings, like you actually needed those bonuses to get the max strength bonus, but now there's nothing like you actually have to go out for to get sort of these boosts, and gear really did matter pre-EOC, even though the focus now is supposed to be gear, but it's just not the same as before, really. Combat triangle, I can't say much for PvP, but in PvM, mage is the best, purely because each boss is like, they all mage, so that just means that melee isn't really going to work, and range isn't really powerful enough to beat mage, so mage is basically the best, which is kind of broken the combat triangle in that way. PvP completely dead. Prayers, they nerfed all high level prayers. Healing's mostly fine, it's just you should get more constitution from, or more HP from constitution. Also stuff like brews, which they require overloads, they require 96 herbal basically to use, so they should be more effective than, or more effective than currently are, because they are like a really high level healing food. The other thing, so these ones, combat level 200 is not max combat in any way. The thing with all these answers is, I do agree pre-EOC wasn't perfect, but it had a lot of these things right. But like 1 through 8 wasn't max combat either, but was a lot closer to it. Summoning, even after the buff, summoning's useless, it's only Yak or Uni basically. And PvM, just spamming abilities for me isn't really fun, so I gave that a 1 as well, and obviously I put old combat system is the best for me. So that's my answers for this. Feel free to just come to this thread and leave down your opinions. I think like if you look at a lot of these, like everyone prefers pre-EOC, it looks like, which really does say something. And I mean, obviously it's not just like, people aren't just posting bring back pre-EOC, they're actually giving their reasons to why, so hopefully Jagex do read this. Like I said, pre-EOC wasn't perfect, EOC is far from perfect, but really just either a balance or at least bringing back pre-EOC would definitely make a lot of players happy, because Jagex has just got this idea that whatever they say is the best, and they just seem to know all, but quite evidently they don't. Even EOC supporters agree that the EOC isn't perfect, there's a lot of work to do, but Jagex just don't really want to do it, which is a shame. So hopefully we do see a change. Hopefully this is like the start of more tweaks to the evolution of combat. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you all later.